If you're a collaborator or a featured artist, how do you split the money when you help work on a song? Let's break it down. Welcome back to Label Me. Today's video topic will be: if you'd like to have your question featured as next week's topic, follow us on Instagram and stay tuned for our recent posts. I get this question a lot from a lot of independent artists and a lot of musicians. So today we're going to walk through the entire process from start to finish and everything that you should know if you're a featured artist on someone else's song. First things first, you're going to decide who owns what. So there isn't really one correct way to split percentages because it just depends on how many people collaborated on the song. Sometimes it can look like a 70-30 split, it can look like a 50-50 split, or even 25-25-50. Sometimes 33-33-33. It kind of just depends on how you decide to split it up. No matter how you split this, the percentages should always equal out to 100%. And this part is pretty important because the organizations won't even allow you to input your music unless these percentages are split properly. You're going to want to make sure that you have a solid agreement, whether it's verbal or physical piece of paper, that explains who owns what and how you're going to split percentages. A lot of people tend to follow the distribution platforms split. Typically, the ownership comes before your registration or before you even upload the song, but let's just say in this case, you've already created the song. That would be the master recording. This is the actual recording of the song, finished recording that people can listen to right now. The person who owns this master recording is usually the person who paid for the session or released the record, so the original artist. Just keep in mind, every song has 2 copyrights. Next, you want to know what you own. So if you own a part of the composition, which means you created the lyrics or melody, then you as the featured artist are going to want to register with a PRO. A PRO is a performing rights organization. We've talked about this many times. If you want to hear more about that, go ahead. When you register as a featured artist, you're going to want to make sure that you have the song title, each person that collaborated's IPI number, and what organization they are currently with. So if they have BMI, you're going to want to get their BMI IPI number, which is linked to them. It's basically like a social security card. And you're going to be the person that splits up the percentages in your database. Just like your own record that shows that you're a part of the song. I also believe this is a public record that a lot of sync licensing agencies also review upon making a deal with you to get your music in video games, TV shows, and things like that. You're going to make sure that you have the ownership percentages, the IPI number, and the publisher information. So if this artist has released a song and they own the recording, they're likely the self-publisher. Unless they're signed with a label or they have a publisher doing the work for them, like a publishing administrator, then they're likely the publisher. This means they should be registered as self-published. If perhaps the original artist that you collaborated with does not have a self-published performing rights organization, then you're going to want to publish that under your own. This one segues kind of into our next one. A PRO collects the performance royalties, the radio, TV show, restaurants, and some public performances as well. If you don't own the master and the original artist is not self-published, you're probably entitled to publishing rights. Play that back again if you missed it. Publishing rights are basically how you make money from ownership of the song itself and not just the master recording. So this includes the mechanical royalties, the digital performance royalties, all of the copyrights, and if you're independent, then you're going to own your own publishing. You do not need a traditional publishing deal to earn publishing royalties. When you create an account, you're going to want to create a songwriter account, but also a publishing account. This protects you from any times that you're going to need to present and show that you have full ownership over all of the recordings that you've created. Or you can hire a publishing administrator like me who can collect it for you. Organizations like Song Trust are basically like a website that is a publishing administrator. You register your songs, they collect those publishing royalties on your behalf, no split. And this includes the US, like the United States, but this also is for organizations worldwide. When you're registering another person's song that you're featured on, you want to make sure that you have all of these semantics in order. First names, the last names, the IPI numbers, all of the ownership percentages, publishing information, and if you're the self-publisher, make sure that you have everything in order on your end. So we've come to the end of this video, and I really hope that that answers a few of the questions that a lot of people have. But before we go, I want to leave you with this. If you're ever featured on someone else's song, ask yourself 2 questions. Did I A, write the song? Did I B, perform on the recording? If the answer is yes to A, you're going to want to register for your writer's share of the composition at something like BMI or ASCAP. And if your answer is yes to the second question, you're going to want to register as a featured artist with Sound Exchange. If you ever have any questions, feel free to email us at info@labelmemusic.com. I'm always here to answer you guys' questions, so of course, hit the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. We'll talk soon. Bye.